Warning, the following video contains multitudes of sarcastic and serious comments, so please watch at your own discretion. Welcome to my channel, Ti3. My name is Mr. Ti, and today we're gonna talk about... Before we start, please subscribe to the channel for more updates. Firstly, I want to say that I know very little about black history in the USA. The first time I became aware of the struggle for the rights of black people in the United States of America was with one man, Martin Luther King Jr. I came to know about the racism in the USA and the treatment of the people with black skin from that one line.
I have a dream.
And I, for the first time in life, understood what racism was. I grew up in Bangladesh with dark brown skin, and we have fairness creams for men.
मर्दों की सख्त त्वचा के लिए पिंक फेयरनेस क्रीम नहीं बनी। फेयर एंड हैंडसम नाम तो सुना ही होगा।
I grew up with racism without realizing what it was. But the film that first made me interested in the struggle of the black people was Black Klansman. I love that film, which features one of my favorite current actors in John David Washington. In preparation for this article, I saw the 2015 documentary film The Black Panthers, Vanguard of the Revolution by Stanley Nielsen Jr., the book A Taste of Power by Ellen Brown, Power to the People, The World of the Black Panthers by Stephen Shames and Bobby Seale, and Malcolm X starring Denzel Washington. Now, I understand where John got his acting genes, so when I say I know a little about the Black Panthers, trust me, I tried my best to learn as much as I could. That doesn't mean I have a full grasp of all the things I'm going to talk about in this video, but I have tried my best to find as much as I can, and I wanted to talk about the film more than the Black Panthers, because the Black Panthers is an issue much more larger than anything I could talk about in this movie. In this movie, I just want to talk about the film itself and the performances of the actors and the story of Fred Hampton. I became aware of Fred Hampton before with one podcast called Behind the Bastards, hosted by Robert Evans, and no, he's not the producer, he is just a journalist, I think, or on Twitter it's written that he writes okay. I'm getting a view of he just only writes, it doesn't really matter if he's a journalist or not, but yes. From there I was first made aware of the Black Panthers, and I did look into it. I learned the stories of Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, how they established the Black Panthers, and the fact that Fred Hampton was one of the people leading the Black Panthers in Chicago. So if you want to know more about the story of the Black Panthers, you can go look at the documentary itself, which is the Black Panthers Vanguard of the Revolution, or read many of the books from which I read two. And yeah, if you want to know more about the Black Panthers, please check them out. But as for the film stars Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield, and I just want to say, Lakeith, please keep bothering me with your performance. Now that wasn't a sexual reference. For those who don't understand the reference, it was to Keith Stanfield's best film, Sorry to Bother You. He also plays roles in Knives Out, one of my favorite films, Get Out, again, a really good horror film. The TV series Atlanta, have not watched it, but intend to, and a lot of other movies, but I don't want to get into Death Note, so we will leave it at that, because I do want to deny the existence of the Death Note movie. He gives a fantastic performance in the role of Bill O'Neill. Look, I have watched the interview of the real life Bill, and to be honest, he's a son of a bee. But Keith Stanfield's performance gives an emotional depth to the character of Bill. We see him constantly going through doubts and struggling with his consciousness because of the acts he was performing. We see Lakeith Stanfield battling with his morals throughout the film while constantly watching out only for himself. The real life Bill? I didn't feel any kind of empathy towards that guy. So Lakeith Stanfield does an amazing job making us feel for him. When it comes to Daniel Kaluuya, I don't really know how his name is pronounced. I'm sorry, I'm brown, please forgive me. But when it comes to Daniel Kaluuya playing the role of Fred Hampton, the thing I want to say is that he gives a powerful performance, but it lacked one thing. The acting was top-notch, but, and I can't believe I am going to use this word, but he lacked the swagger of the original Fred Hampton.
A revolutionary! I am a revolutionary! I am a revolutionary!
We're going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the best words on my lips. That I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying.
Just watch any Fred Hampton interview and see Daniel Kaluuya's performance. I'm sorry, but you just don't have the swagger. Apart from that, acting-wise, I do think he deserves the Oscar nomination. Then again, I think Lakeith Stanfield should have been nominated in the leading role category, and Daniel Kaluuya on the supporting role, because clearly Lakeith is the main protagonist of this film. I'm just going to put that out there, but I'm pretty sure most people agree, because I have read some reviews and some other stuff written by famous critics and stuff like that. So while the two actors are showing their full commitment to the story, and the story itself being incredible, because I think the story of Fred Hampton is one for the generations, I think what the film lacked was direction. And I am sorry, Mr. Shaka King, but I wish this movie was directed by a better director. I have nothing against you. I have not seen your previous movies, but if it's anything to go by this movie, I don't really want to, unless the stories are good, because at the end of the day, I feel that your direction was bland compared to the story itself. Like, a few of the side stories you had going on alongside the main story, I did not understand. Therefore, when the guy died while having a shootout with the cops, I didn't care, and I still don't, which is why I didn't bother looking up his name. But it's your job to make us care about those characters. Give us more time with them. If not, just omit the story. We don't need to learn about those stuff. If anybody wants to learn about the more brief details of the movie, they can go and look into it. But if you're going to give us a side story, then make it so that we understand what is going on there. If we do not care about those side stories, that is the fault of the director, because the direction of the movie dictated me to only care about 3 people: Fred Hampton, Bill O'Neill, and Deborah Johnson. The other characters were non-consequential in terms of the film. It did give us a perspective of the culture that surrounded the Black Panthers, the culture of the African American people, and the perspective of the people of the Rainbow Coalition. The other 2 important characters of the film are Deborah Johnson and Roy Mitchell, played by Dominic Fishback and Jesse Plemons, respectively. Is it Jesse? Hesse? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's Jesse because he's a white dude. Deborah Johnson was the fiancée of Fred Hampton and is the mother of Fred Hampton Jr. Dominic Fishback did a fine job in playing her, but her strongest acting moment of the movie was at the end when Fred Hampton got shot right behind her. At that moment of the film, the only person you could see on screen is her, and she does deliver. The feeling I had was that she actually deserved more of a role in this movie. Roy Mitchell was the FBI officer in charge of handling Bill O'Neill, and one of my complaints of the film is that in real life, Bill wants to be more like Roy Mitchell. Like, I saw it in the interview, he said that he wanted to be more like Roy Mitchell. He wants to live his life of being a minority behind and wants to be one of the people on the other side of the fight, as was said by the real life man. But Shaka King made Bill into a sympathetic character, as you feel bad for Bill thinking he did not have a choice. I don't know what the reality is, but he did commit suicide after the release of his real life interview. Then again, if he was alive after the interview came out, the members of the Black Panther Party would have been like, I know who you are, I will find you and I will kill you. They would have gone taken on his butt. Overall, the film is an enjoyable story with a little bit of wasted potential, rating the film an 8 out of 10, which is high considering my issues with the film. But for me, the performances from Keith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya bumps it up from a 7 to an 8. The brilliant performances do gloss over the direction issue a little bit, but the story itself was so powerful that it could not drag the movie down. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time when I'm back with Nomadland, my name is Mr. Ta, and take it easy.